Breaking news now just into the WLTX newsroom. Sheriff Leon Lott has just taken to the podium talking about the recent shooting violence in Blythewood. Let's listen in.
About 20 or 30 kids that were killed. And this has happened for the last 2 years and right up until this past week, the same thing where we've had multiple shots being fired at events. I'll go back to April 29, 2023 at Meadow Lakes, where a group of people with guns shooting at people, made arrests in that. Last year on May 28th, the village of Lakeshore, another mass shooting again. And then last week at Columbia Place Mall, and then in the town of Blythewood. I've stand up here many times and talk about young people with guns and how dangerous they are and what we got going on in this community. And that's what we had recently, last week. We're going to show some videos in a minute, and they're very graphic, and they should be, because our community needs to look at this and be shocked on what we've got going on in our community. Parents need to look at this and be shocked and take some action. We still have a lot of parents out here who are turning a total blind eye on what their young people are doing with guns and just shooting with total disregard for any human life whatsoever. I stand here and I shake my head, and I'm just amazed, but also very thankful that we haven't had young people killed to the extent that it could have been in any of these incidences. I'm also standing here thankful for our community and those who do care enough in this community to make calls and help us out and give us information. And for those who are upset about what's going on and are doing things, but we need more. We need more people involved. We need more parents involved. It's just unconscionable on some of the things that we see and what we're going to do. So we're going to show videos, and we're going to talk through them, and we're going to slow them down because people need to see. First shooting happened Wednesday, April 2nd, at Columbia Place Mall. And I will say this, both of these shootings that we're going to discuss, Columbia Mall had nothing to do with it. The town of Blythewood had nothing to do with it. I don't want people to blame what's going on either one of these places. The responsibility goes on the shooters. It's not on the locations. And I think sometimes we want to blame the locations for something happening. And that's not true. And these cases here, this just is where the shootings happen. And you'll just see how those involved just did not care one bit. So the first one happened at Columbia Place Mall Wednesday, a little bit over a week ago, about 3:30, where we get a call of a shooting going on in the mall. This is one of the stores in the mall. It's a typical store. People in there shopping. Stop. I want you to see this lady and this baby in this stroller. She's just a shopper. Has nothing to do with anything except she's in there shopping. And she's caught in the middle of a gunfight. And those who are firing those rounds have absolutely no concern for her safety or that baby's safety whatsoever. I applaud her. You're going to see as this video goes how she protects her child. That is a mother. That's what a parent does, but the action she's taken, but she and that baby, hopefully the baby's not old enough to realize, but they'll be traumatized forever. Continue. There's shooting going on as she's laying there right now. I want everybody to look at that. I want parents in the community to look at that young lady right there and that baby on the danger that they're being subjected to. There's shooting going on. There's a shootout going on right now, and they're absolutely in the middle of it. Play the video. These are the bad guys. That's Team B. 3 of them in Team B. 1 in Team A. Look at the guns coming out. Look at the shooting they're doing. She's over here laying on the floor as they're shooting. Bullets hitting here, bullets hitting everywhere. Here they are, run out. Stop. We'll go back. Continue. Just keep continuing. Keep it going. That's all 3 of them have got guns. They've already shot at the individual they were shooting at. So Team A has 1 person, Team B has 3 people. But you have that baby and that lady caught in the middle. And you have another gentleman who's out in the mall who's nothing but a shopper. Just there, shopping. He's caught in the middle of the gunfire. He gets shot. Here they are coming in the store. There she is coming in the store. The gentleman that shot walking out. There we go shooting. Bullets hitting here. Bullets hitting over there. Gentleman shot over here. And here they go running out. All with the guns. These are the 3 we're looking at. May be hard to see. That is a long gun. That's not a pistol. These 2 got pistols. This one has a long gun. Some type of rifle. Now I know we all go shopping carrying a rifle. But that's what they're carrying. That's what they're. These are the 3 that we're looking at. These 3 are on Team B that we're still looking for. Team A got arrested. He was shot, ended up in the hospital in Orangeburg, where he told a lie on how he had a self-inflicted gun wound, which we proved is different because he had the same clothes on at the hospital that he had when the shooting happened. That's what he's charged with at this time. So we're continuing to work this. 1 week after the shooting, 1 week, we already made 1 arrest on this, and we'll continue to make arrests on this. Probably at least 25 shots were fired in the mall. Shooting in Blythewood, Saturday, 2 a.m. 200 kids, young people in town of Blythewood. We have a shooting. It starts off with what we call pop-up parties. This is the social media that went out. Bring your own booze, bring your own weed. Bring your own weed, drugs. This is the party. This is where it started. Starts at a house. Then it goes from there, and these kids then, not just a small group, large group, 200 of them, end up in Blythewood. I want people to watch. This is probably only not even half. This is a quarter of the kids. These are 3 different locations, the Waffle House, car wash, and a gas station, that they invaded the town of Blythewood. And I want you to watch this video and see them run when the gun starts. Hear the shots? Over 60 rounds were fired. And we're going to play just the sound. I want people to listen to the shooting that's going on. How many shots are fired? This is something you'd expect to hear in Iraq or Afghanistan during the war. This is in Blythewood. This is the town of Blythewood. This was a war zone that these kids turned the town of Blythewood into. We're going to play this video here. You'll watch these individuals here. You'll see them all pull their guns out. Guns, shooting. We let this video out a few days ago. This happened on the 5th. Put the video out on the 8th, and on the 10th, we made our first 2 arrests were made. 18 years old, high school student, in high school currently. 18 years old, in high school. There was kids from Columbia, Camden, Casey, Blythewood, 200 of them. There was an individual there that we've recognized that had an ankle monitor on who was out on bond for murder. This was the type of individuals that took over the town of Blythewood this past weekend. Now, as you see, we're already making an arrest, and we're going to continue to make arrests until everybody that was responsible was caught. What I'm asking is parents who see this video, recognize your child, know your child was there, you need to contact us. Because if you don't, then at 4 o'clock in the morning you're going to get a knock on your door. And somebody's going to go to jail. I'm going to call out one vehicle that was there. A black Maserati was there that was involved. Now, I don't think any of these kids probably owned a Maserati, so that belongs to a parent. That parent and that kid who was driving that car needs to come in, because we're going to find you too. It's just a matter of time. I've talked up here before, and I'll continue to talk about these guns. I'm going to get you in 1 or 2 places, either in the cemetery or in prison. We're very fortunate that we don't have anybody going to the cemetery, but we've got a lot of kids and a lot of young people who are going to be arrested, and we're going to continue to find them. Our investigators have done a great job. The community's done a great job, the ones that's helped us out. The town of Blythewood has helped us out with cameras that they had. You had numerous businesses that were shot up. You had vehicles that were shot up. We had a young lady that was shot in a car, leaving. She was shot. So we had someone shot. Over 60 rounds, you heard them. Over 60 rounds were fired. So the message today is either come in or we're coming to get you. Plain and simple. We're going to come get you. Not only are we sick and tired of what we just shown that happened at Columbia Place Mall in Blythewood, I hope this community is shocked enough to be sick of it too. When you watch these videos, you watch that mom laying on the floor protecting her child because these crazies are running around here want to be gangsters. You know, they big and bad when they're out like that, but they ain't big and bad when we go lock them up at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's a big difference then. But when they're out there like that and you got innocent people caught in, they don't care. They don't care. Questions?
Was the Columbia Mall shooting an isolated event?
Yeah, these people knew each other. It was Team A against Team B against Team A, however you want to say it. Yes, they knew each other. So it was very isolated.
This is the second mall shooting that we've had in the last couple of years. Do you think, I mean, I know obviously the blame is on the suspects, but do we need up security at the malls?
Nah, that's not the mall's fault. Don't have anything to do with the malls. You know, it has to do with these people in here with guns who just don't care. But you also saw the sentences that people got in Lexington County for the Columbiana shooting, how many years that they're going away for. I mean, that same thing needs to happen with these cases too. You know, again, sometimes the only way to protect the community is put people behind bars and keep them there. And that's where some of these people deserve to be.
As far as the mall property, I know Richland County is going to be moving some county offices and things there in the future. In your opinion, is that area, can you judge the safety of that area, and do you think that increased patrols would do anything to help anything there?
No, I mean, again, there's deputies riding through there all the time. We have 2 offices right across from the mall. We have a gym across from the mall. The visibility of us being there is a lot. So, again, you can't blame this on the malls. You can't blame it on the town of Blythewood. You saw 200 kids invade the town of Blythewood. You saw a bunch of punks go into Columbia Mall with their guns, long guns, stuck in your pants, you carrying it around, and you're in a store. You can't blame it on them. We need to stop blaming these places and putting all the responsibility on them and put it on these people who got these guns who are shooting. That's who we need to focus on.
As far as the pop-up parties and kind of the mob mentality, I know Blythewood's had to deal with that a couple of times here in the last month. Is there anything that your investigators can do to monitor social media channels or try and infiltrate and get a better handle on when those pop-up parties are going to be organized so that you can kind of head those off at the pass?
We do as much as we can, but these are instantaneous. That's why they call it pop-up parties. It happens that quick. You put it out on social media, here where we're going, everybody shows up. So, again, put it on the kids. Put it on these people that are doing this stuff, not on us, not on the innocent businesses. Put it on the people that deserve to have the blame put on them.
At the town council meeting yesterday, the Blythewood County councilman, he mentioned that it's hard to patrol loitering because of lack of resources. Do you see Blythewood in enforcing a curfew in the future?
I've had discussions with the mayor about that. They're exploring that possibility. And if they pass an ordinance that establishes a curfew, then we'll be there to help enforce it.
And do you think the town of Blythewood needs their own police department?
No, we got a headquarters right there in the town of Blythewood. Again, y'all are looking at the wrong people. Look at these 200 kids. Look at these people with the guns. That's who we need to be looking at. We can't put a deputy sheriff on every street corner. That's not possible. But there's some parents can keep these kids' butts where they need to be instead of 2 o'clock in the morning running around here with a gun and shooting. That's what we need to focus on. That's who we need to be putting the blame on.
Any idea where the kids are getting some of these guns?
Guns are all over the place. Stolen guns. Some of the guns that we got recovered so far have been stolen guns. People leave guns in the car. Their vehicles don't lock them. Kids go through neighborhoods at night and open doors and get the guns out, and then they end up on the street. We've done better. Our community's done better. One of our community action team deputies came up with one of the best slogans I ever heard. Your vehicle's not a holster. Don't leave your gun in it. And that's so true. And our community's done better, but we still need to do even better. But the guns are there. We got to change the minds and hearts of these kids. You watch these so-called gangsters run around here with these guns, shooting. Could care less where the bullets are going. They're shooting. They're just shooting. You ask them, what are you shooting at? I'm just shooting. I'm shooting in the direction where people are. God's the only thing that's protected these kids from getting these bullets in their bodies.
What would you say to address the revolving door that we have? You said one of the suspects was out on bond for murder.
I think that speaks to the crack that we got in our system. Here's somebody out on bond on murder with an ankle monitor, and you see he's out here involved in something that's going on like this. You kill somebody and you deserve to be back on the street, and you're doing things like this. Again, we can only worry about what we can control, and what we control is putting their butts in jail and locking them up. What happens to them after that, that's out of our control. The rest of the system's got to do their part.
There were over 200 young people there. A lot of young people don't want to involve themselves in, snitching culture. What would you tell parents that have young people that might have been there, that might have seen or knew these people, or can help in the future?
Well, be lucky you didn't get shot with a bullet. Next time you won't be lucky. So is it snitching or is it protecting your life and somebody else's life? You know, are you a snitch when you see something like that and somebody's throwing? You saw these kids run out of their shoes. You saw them just how scared they looked. You know, that should be fear enough to want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. All right, thank y'all.
All right, Sheriff Leon Lott wrapping up his press conference once again, talking about our young people and begging parents to be involved in their children's lives and stopping them from being out at night with guns and causing trouble. Now, he talked about two specific events, and honestly, we as media have been asking about this Columbia Place shooting every day since it happened, wanting to know if they had a suspect. Can we put out the suspect's name? Can we show the public a suspect picture so that you would have an idea what was going on? And he basically broke it down for us. This was video from the mall that day of the shooting. So let me tell you what we found out today in this press conference that was new information. So this happened back on April 2nd, if you remember, at Columbia Place Mall. He showed absolutely horrific video from what was a shooting inside a second-story store in that mall. It looked like it was some sort of sporting goods store. We saw t-shirts, we saw clothing, and we saw tennis shoes, sneakers. And what he showed on video was nothing less than shocking. He showed, at the start, before he showed the gunman, he showed a young mother. This almost makes me want to cry. He showed a young mom with her baby in the stroller that was in the actual store where the shots rang out. He said it was 3 against 1, so there were 4 guns in that store being pointed and shot. When they started shooting, a mom grabbed the stroller, raced to the side, and threw herself and her baby on the ground. She then reached her arm over inside the stroller and held her baby down on the ground inside that store while the shooting went on all around her. The next video that they showed us was the shots ringing out inside that store, and it was, for me, you know, who hasn't seen active shootouts like that in person, it was just incredible to watch. There's, you know, hats being shot and flying off the shelves, jackets being shot and flying off. As he showed, one of those individuals had a long gun inside his pants and pulled out a long rifle during the shooting. Now, unfortunately, Lott says the person that was shot was merely an innocent bystander who had run outside the store near the escalator when the shots rang out to try and get to safety, and one of those stray bullets from inside the store hit that victim. They did make one arrest in this case. They showed his picture. He is 18 years old. His name was Grant Rawls. But they said in all 25 shots were fired. Incredibly, that mom and her instincts to get her baby on the ground with that stroller and hold her baby down so that the baby didn't get shot. Her instincts were incredible, and she was able to protect herself and her baby. I'm sorry, it just, you know, we've all been that mom with the baby in the stroller. All right, so that's April 2nd. They are still looking for those other gunmen. Again, in that case, he said it was 1 versus 3 gunmen, and they have only made that 1 arrest. Then he fast forwarded till April 5th. April 5th was this weekend. He said it all started in Blythewood with 200 kids on Blythewood Road. This is that video that they released. This was on Blythewood Road outside of the Waffle House. Now, there's also a gas station right next door. That's the police report from that night, but there's a gas station right next door to the Waffle House. This party, he said, it was an advertised party on social media. It was called Bring Your Own Weed. And after the party, the kids were out there in the parking lot of the Blythewood Waffle House. He said there were 200 kids involved. And then he gave us a chance to listen to what that shooting sounded like. He said there were 60 rounds that were shot. Now, Sheriff Lott is a veteran, and he says this was something you expect to hear in Afghanistan during a war, and not something you expect to hear or see in the town of Blythewood, which is a beautiful area, lots of family homes. They have made 2 arrests in that shooting. Again, the one that we have the video for, the 2 arrests in that case. One is a high school senior. He is 18 years old. His name is Najir Suber. They've made one other arrest. He's 18 years old, and his name is Darrell Birch. And again, Sheriff Leon Lott was very upset when he was talking about 18-year-old Darrell Birch, because he says he had an ankle monitor on and was out on bond for murder. So he is charged with murder and was out on bond for murder and had on an ankle monitor, just 18 years old, Darrell Birch, and was at that shooting. Now, as he said, he's shocked that he's not standing up there saying that hundreds of kids were shot in this incident. He said, now is the time to come forward if you know your child, and can we show that video one more time, Wade? If you know your child is in this video, y'all, you better get on the phone and call the sheriff's department now, because he says if your child was involved and you do not come forward, they are going to come and find you. Now, the actual shooting, and they had it on video, the men pulled out their guns, the teenagers pulled out their guns at the parking lot for the gas station, and he showed that video as well. Again, there's 2 arrests, Najir Suber and Darrell Birch. He said 60 rounds were fired in that case. And again, he is asking parents to come and contact the sheriff's department before they contact you. He also says that night, again, this is April 5th, this weekend in Blythewood, that someone was there driving a black Maserati. He said, now I know a teenager doesn't own a black Maserati, so he says whoever that is, if you know somebody that owns a black Maserati that was there in Blythewood this weekend, they want to hear from you, and they have you and your car on camera. So Sheriff Lott saying many, many more arrests are coming from these 2 instances. That's the latest we have today. If you heard, our News 19's Chris English was there at the press conference, and he is going to bring us the latest coming up tonight in just about an hour and a half for Friends at 5, News 19 at 6 and 7. Thanks so much for joining us on WLTX Plus. We'll see you for Friends at 5.